They got some joints, yo.
What's up, you too? How's everyone doing this lovely? I'm actually gonna drop this probably tonight or tomorrow, so whatever. It's your boy Reg in the building. Got my homeboy try it with me. I was about to say Eric. Fuck it.
It was good.
What's up, bro? Um Tonight we're gonna party like it's 1999. Tonight we're gonna talk about the top 10 hip hop albums of 1999. Give me 2 seconds, let me start this car
Yeah.
because I'm actually driving home while I'm doing this fucking video because I got like a lot of shit I gotta handle. Y'all can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, so 1999. This is a year in hip hop that gave us Eminem. It gave us TRL. I mean, it gave us Puff Daddy's Forever, but we're only going to talk about the good shit.
Lord.
Yeah, so 1999 brought us a lot of shit. We're going to do like a top 15, right? Top 15 1999 albums.
Yes.
Okay, top 15 and shit. So really cannot wait to start this shit over. Um, yeah, I think no, let's not beat around the bush. Let's start this shit.
Yep. You wanna go first?
It's the real work. You hear me?
Huh?
Yeah, my number 15. I'm gonna go with Missy Elliott's "The Real World."
Okay.
Yeah, man. I've been having like a lot of Missy in my mind lately and shit like that. So
Yeah.
this was pretty much the sophomore album, 2 years after Super Duper Fly, which again was a dope album. Very, very, very dope shit. Had like a lot. It had like a lot more serious, darker kind of tone, but not like too dark. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still
Right.
Missy.
Right.
He has joints like the joints he did with Eminem was on that shit.
Yes.
I love Hot Boys. I mean, this was really the peak of Missy and Timbaland's powers, in my personal opinion, and shit too. So this is definitely my number 15.
All right. Number 15 for me is Pharoah Monch, Eternal Affairs.
Mm.
Classic album. I love that review that we did last year on it, and he's always been underrated in my opinion. A great lyricist coming from Organized Confusion, and going out on his own and releasing a ruckus solo album, and having Simon Says was a big hit over here when that dropped. And I remember that remix. I think the remix had Redman on it, and um you had The Light, produced by Diamond D. That was a great track. The next shit with Busta Rhymes, the rape song, the Hell Joint with Cannabis, a very great storyteller. Great production from DJ Scratch, and Alchemist is on this. Diamond D, like I mentioned, and Pharaoh did a lot of the joints, and definitely a Five My Classic, underrated album.
Definitely a five.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a five mic classic indeed.
Mhm.
That's actually on my list as well. So I'm gonna say my thoughts on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snoop's No Limit Top Dog is my number 13.
Oh.
Yes, a No Limit album from Snoop on my list. And it's not the game to be sold and shit like that. Um, this might be my. I've always felt like his No Limit discography was very consistent, to say the least.
Right.
It's like this one was like a very dope record. You had a little bit of West Coast influence from like Dre. I want to say DJ Quick was on this album as well too.
Mhm.
Very, very, very dope joint in my opinion and stuff. Down for my niggas, man. That joint right there. Whenever they play that shit at a club, like that
Yes.
is classic as fuck. And
Yep.
you know what's crazy? I've always heard that joint before, like I heard that album. So when I heard that album, I didn't even know Snoop because they always played the intro, then they played over to the next track and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So this joint right here was a very, very, very solid joint. Probably my third favorite Snoop album. Not even gonna hold you.
Oh. All right. Next up, number 14, I got Tupac and the Outlaw, Still I Rise. I love this album. They did change the beats for some of the tracks, like the Secrets of War. That beat is different on this joint. Teardrops and Close Caskets was featuring Nate Dogg. That was a classic record. Letter to the President, classic record. Baby Don't Cry. I think that was the first single. Um, High Speed. Definitely to me it's a classic Tupac album. Even after he passed away, but I didn't like the other Tupac albums after he died, but this is definitely a great project. With the Outlaw, I think the Outlaws are underrated, but they don't have the same energy after Pac died. But I think they will have get great chemistry with Pac, and it showed on this album. And Daz did some production on here as well, and it's great.
Yeah, that's definitely a very interesting. I know a lot of diehard Pac fans love that album. Me
Yes.
personally, I've never really gotten into that album. Honestly, I've never really been the
Right.
biggest Outlaws fan.
Hmm.
I mean, Yaki Gaddafi was decent and shit like that.
Yep.
Something about the Outlaw, I just never really fucked with that shit. I some real stuff, but
Right.
my number 13, we have to go with that nasty Nas with I Am.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people say I Am Nostradamus was not good. A lot of people say it was commercial. It was the beginning of the end. I fucking disagree on their statement. I Am has some of Nas's most heartfelt and lyrical tracks, like New York State of Mind Part 2 alone
Yep.
was just a fucking lyrical tour de force for Nas and shit like that. Favor for a Favor with Scarface was dope as well too.
Right.
What else? What else? What else? KIS's ING was dope. I mean, this whole fucking album was pretty much Nas at his prime, in my personal opinion. I hate to say, I mean, no, I don't hate. This is his third straight classic album. I don't give a damn what no one says.
I agree. Definitely. All right. Number 13 for me is the Beatnuts Musical Massacre. Love this album. We did a review on this last year. It was great. Thanks to all the viewers that liked it and watched it. And I think this is like I love the production on here. You had Beatnuts Forever and what's the other joint I like on Watch Out Now. That was a big hit. And J Lo took that and she sampled it for her own joint. Jenny from the Block. We had what else? Story 2000. That was a great storytelling track. Turn It Out with Rick Nice. Um, Buddha in the Ear with Carl Thomas. You're a Clown with the late great Bismarck Key. Rest in peace. That was a dope joint. Slam Pit with Cuban Link in Common. A lot of great joints on here. Definitely enjoyed this and yeah, this have to make my list.
Yeah, you already know how I feel about the beat. That's
Right,
and shit. Not a big fan of that album, but I respect the choice.
right.
Next joint, I'm gonna have to go with in our lifetime. Very dope album. To me, the last great album that they came out with before they went to Bad Boy, aka the Lifetime Achievement Award for the BET Awards this year, aka. Yeah, man, this whole album to me was a very personal album from them and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, it's been years since I've really sat and listened to it, but with the recent verses that came out with them against UGK and stuff, and they play like a lot of dope shit from this album. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to get my hands on this record one day. So that's my number 12 pick.
Okay. Number 12 for me is DMX. And then there was X, classic album. Loved it. Very solid joints on the road to cross. And you had the hard right, the DXL hard right joint. You had what these bitches want with Cisco, huge hit. What's my name? That was a huge hit. just a phenomenal, solid album from DMX. I don't hear a lot of people mention this one. You know, the first two were great. I think his third one was just as great. You know, and yeah, that rest in peace, DMX.
Yeah, rest in peace indeed. My number 11 is going to be Method Man and Redman with Blackout. Very dope album. One of the best collab albums in hip hop history and shit like that. Both Meth and Red did their thing on this record. Like, just every time you hear the Walk Wilder, just that ding, 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 ding. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I just never get tired of that song and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, Four Seasons was pretty dope. Yeah, man, just a fucking dope album. This is how you do a fucking. It has a nice style. It has its hardcore tracks, but then it has its fucking party tracks. This is how you do a fucking balanced hip hop album and
right.
whatnot too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I didn't care. I gotta re-listen to Blackout too, because it has some joints I like, but some joints I didn't really care too much for.
right.
So I'm gonna say my thoughts on that.
Yes. Where we at number 11. Yeah, number 11 for me is Ja Rule, Veni Vedi Vici, classic album. I love this album. You know, Holla Holla, huge hit. That's the one that like blew him up over here, and you know the Murder Inc. The original Murder Inc. joint we get with Jay Z and DMX is Murder. That was phenomenal. I love the E Dub and Ja, Eric Sermon and Ja Rule collab. Daddy's Little Baby with Ron Isley. Love that song. Race Against Time. You know, phenomenal album, phenomenal production on Irv Gotti, and you know, yet Eric Sermon do some joints, and you know, it was definitely a classic hardcore rap album. You know,
That was so close to making my list. I'm not gonna hold you.
yeah.
So close. Now we're gonna get into top 10. Number 10, Mobb Deep, Murder Music.
Mm,
I mean, I couldn't have it the top 10 of 1999 without this album and shit. Like,
right.
this is such a beautiful but yet haunting masterpiece. And that's pretty much what you could describe every album between Infamous and fucking and this album, honestly, and shit like that too.
Right.
Now,
Facts.
I like Infamy. I'm gonna say most of my thoughts on Infamy when we talk about that, but
Mhm.
Murder Music to me, that was a very dope album. It was supposed to have came out in 1997, but you know, niggas started knowing niggas knows what bootlegging is and stuff like that. Started bootlegging everything, so they had to push the album back, take some songs out, reduce some songs.
Right.
I mean, you have and don't mind the beeping noise. That's like my sensor. I have to get that looked at soon.
Yeah.
But songs like fucking The Quiet Storm, both the original version and the remix, man, very very dope. Which that was originally supposed to have been on HNIC too.
Mhm.
You got fucking joints like the shit he did with 8 Ball. I think it was 8 Ball he did a song with Adrenaline, The Realist with Coogee Rap. Oh
Yeah.
my god, that was my. I remember that was my ringtone at one point right there
Mhm.
too. So
Right.
yeah, but I hate when people don't really acknowledge this album. They
Mhm.
only acknowledge it for like Quiet Storm, which again I love this track, but this is actually their best-selling album to date, and that should
Yeah.
actually tell you something. So that's Mobb Deep with that Murder Music.
Yep. So number 10 for me is Most Def, Black on Both Sides, another classic from Ruckus. The same year that Pharoah Monch dropped Eternal Affairs, and I think this was a great album. You know, the production from Diamond D and Ayatollah, 88 Keys, Ali Shaheed Muhammad, DJ Etch a Sketch, Premier's on here, Q-Tip, and just it was just a great all around boom bap album. And you got joints like Miss Fat Booty, a great first single, and Do It Now with Busta Rhymes, Mathematics, produced by Premier. The rock and roll joint was fire. Yumi Says, one of my favorites on here. Just a great album. It has that native tongue vibes, that 90s nostalgia to it. And Five Mind Classic.
Very good album.
Yeah.
And that's another album that's gonna be higher on my list and shit too.
Mhm.
Uh, my number 9 is gonna be BG Chopper City in the Ghetto.
Mm.
Excuse me. A very, very dope record. BG was honestly one of those southern rappers that the East Coast respected out the gate because he definitely had an East. I hate using this, but you can tell he was influenced by the East Coast and shit too. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? Especially coming from the whole Cash Money, because I'm not the biggest Cash Money fan like that,
right,
especially around this time. But him and Juvie were like the best at the Hot Boys and shit too. Sorry, Weezy fans, hate to disappoint you, but hey, um, this joint right here was a very dope record. Shout out to my homeboy Hoovy, but hooking me up with a copy and shit with this too. You got joints like, of course, Bling Bling came for this album. Yet again, this is another album I do got to re-listen to and shit because it's been fucking years since I heard this fucking record and shit like that. As long time as that motherfucker was driving his motorcycle in the background and shit. But
yeah.
yeah, man, this is a very, very, very dope record from what I remembered. This might be an upcoming review very soon and shit because I gotta get back on my Cash Money shit, honestly.
Yeah. All right, number 9 for me is Slick Rick. All the storytelling. Love this album. Think it's highly underrated. You know, he came back and he had like damn near everybody was on this album. Outkast with the street talking joint. You know, Snoop Dogg is on here. Kid Capri. You got Raekwon and Frozen. Nas with what's the joint? Me and Nas bring it to you the hardest. Cannabis is on this album. Lord Tariq Peter Guns. A whole bunch of other cats. Even Dougie Fresh is making an appearance on this album, and it was just a phenomenal album. I definitely love the way that he incorporated the newer artists of that time on his project, and highly slept on. Definitely one of his best albums.
Yeah, man. On number 8, on the concept hip hop albums, I'm gonna keep this relatively brief. Prince Paul, the Prince Among Thieves. Again,
Mm,
I've talked about this in the past. It's a very unique album. I think it's like one of the first albums people think when it comes to like concept hip hop albums and stuff like that. Anything Prince Paul touches is never anything below mediocre.
facts. Yep. You hear me? Hey, you good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Number 8 is Volume 3. Jigga, a good album. Um, there was controversy with this album. He got bootlegged and by Lance Rivera. He got stabbed by Jay, and Jay took that case, and he didn't do no jail time, but that was the controversy behind it, and it was a good album. Big Pimpin' really put UGK out there on a bigger platform with that song, and you had Do It Again with Beanie Siegel in the mill, and he's taking shots. They taking shots at the locks. You had So Ghetto, one of my favorites, which I thought they should have had a video for it. Primo produced that. Um, Watch Me with Dr. Dre, produced by Irv Gotti. There's some joints on here, NYMP. But I don't think it's like out of the trilogy. I don't think it's the strongest. I still feel like Volume 2 is a classic one, and Volume 1 was solid. But it was definitely a dope album. But I played this a lot back when it came out. Definitely a dope album.
we had number 7, right? Okay, we had number 7. All right.
Yeah.
Again, this is going to be an album that might be number 1 on a lot of people's 99 list. I'm gonna have to go with The Roots. Things Fall. Love this album. I do admit it's a hip hop classic. The next, uh, You Got Me. I love the joint with Common. The Act 2. I love, but I do have a slight issue with this album.
Mm,
A slight issue. I felt like it wasn't as jazzy as the first three records because you gotta remember this was around the time where they were really getting more and more popular and stuff like that. Cause this was like their breakthrough album to say the least and shit. And yeah, they did get a little love with the What They Do track from Ended Up Half Life, but then once the song like what You Got Me came out and shit like that, that was a big track. And of course, this was the really the beginning of the whole Soulquarians, those Soulquarian sound and shit like that Soulquarians era. But they had like a bit more R&B grooves compared to like the more jazzier grooves on this record and shit. Yet again, not a bad record, but um, I kind of agree with people saying it's a very jazzy record and shit too, But I still fuck with the record. You know what I'm saying? It's just like people just recognize it as their only great album, and I'm just like, I don't know about all that though, but okay.
okay. Number seven, I got Nas. I Am, a classic album. You know, even with the planned double album with Nostradamus that never happened, and it should have happened, and I feel like we still should get that version one day. But even with all that, and he went back in the studio and he did some new songs and he gave us a classic that nobody mentions. You know, Nas's Light, the first single produced by Primo, Fire, one of my favorite Nas records ever. You know, Money's My Bitch, which was actually supposed to be on the double album that got leaked. He still put it on here. You know, New York State of Mind Part Two, Dr. Knock Boots, another leaked joint that made it on this album. You know, We Will Survive, another leaked joint that made it. It had some leaked joints that made it that still made it on the album, and I still feel like the album was solid. And I don't know how people could sit there and say it's not a good album or King's Disease is better. I highly disagree. I feel like the album was solid, and you had track masters and Primo and LES new production on here. You know, Timberland with the joint he did with Aaliyah. You Won't See Me Tonight. Phenomenal album. Definitely a 5 night classic. One of my favorite Nas albums ever.
Yes, sir. All right. Yeah, number six. Number six, MF Doom, Operation Doomsday.
Mm,
Yeah, and a lot of people don't mention this in the top 99 list, but you know what? I'm gonna give this album some love.
I forgot.
Pretty much. You said what? You said what? Oh, fuck it. Yeah, this was pretty much the first solo album by MF Doom because you guys should know he was part of the group KMD, with his brother Sub Rock, rest in peace, and shit. They broke up after he died, and then fucking Electro Records fucked up, fucked up by not really dropping their fucking Black Bastards album, which very dope record. I need to get my hands on the album, but it's out of print. So MF Doom pretty much was going through homelessness and whatnot too, and he went through depression. So next thing you know, he pretty much started putting a mask on his fucking face and stuff like that, and he pretty much took on this alter ego and stuff too. His whole fucking story is very, very interesting. I love his fucking story and whatnot too. And so he was also working a lot with MF Grimm, underground rapper, all my Coogee rap fans, y'all should know who MF Grimm is. And then he was responsible for helping MF Doom, produce, picking the right samples, how to layer the samples and shit. Which y'all know the whole story with this shit. I don't need to get into this, but yeah, man, MF Doom, Operation Doomsday, one of the greatest. A lot of people have said this is like the best underground hip hop album of all time. I've heard people say that shit. You have songs like Greenbacks, Hey, Rhymes Like Dimes. I mean, this is a fucking classic album. I don't give a damn what nobody says.
yes, yes. Okay, I got are we at number five? Number six. Number six, I got Bread and Meth, Blackout, classic album. I love Redman and Method Man. Individually, they're great MCs, and together they make their best stuff, in my opinion. And you know, production with Eric Sermon splitting the production with RZA and the Rockwilder and DJ Scratch. Phenomenal album. You got joints like Serial Killer and the Rockwilder, a classic record. Tear the Roof Off. What's my other favorites? The Mike Checker joint. Um, is the How High, even the How High remix is on here. Definitely a great album. Love the production, love the chemistry with Red and Meth on the mic, and they are legends. They're definitely a great album. I love this one better than Part Two. Part Two had some joints, but it wasn't as phenomenal to me production wise than like this album. They just was in the zone on this album. It was great.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. All right. After I say this part and shit like that, I'm definitely going to be setting up. 'Cause I'm just now getting home and stuff. So
Yeah,
I'll just do it on my laptop after I set up and shit.
yeah,
Number five, Eminem, Slim Shady LP,
yes,
second his second album. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very controversial, very dope album. The album that pretty much saved Aftermath Records, if you ask me.
right,
Uh, yeah, man, this album, pretty much changed the whole game of hip hop. Once you heard that My Name Is track and shit like that, it definitely, set the bar. You got songs like 97 Bonnie and Clyde, um, If I Had, which is probably one of the most underrated Eminem songs
yeah,
I've ever heard and shit. I never hear the diehard fan base talk about that track, but they know all the lyrics to Love the Way You Lie. But I want to save that for another day.
mm,
But one thing about this album that really was interesting was the production. I kind
yeah,
of felt like Dre definitely wanted M to have like a more G. Cause I definitely heard like a lot of G Funk influence on this album, if you ask me.
right,
Like especially with My Name Is and stuff. Like the sample, even the sample, like the funk sample, I could definitely have seen him use that during like Chronic or Doggy Style or Guilty Conscious itself. Like that had like a West Coast kind of beat to it, you know what I'm saying? But
mm,
maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just doing a lot of wishful thinking and shit. But yeah, man. This album, I'm not afraid to say it's actually my favorite Eminem album. Oh, I like it a bit over Marshall Mathers LP.
right.
I know. Woo. I love Marshall Mathers LP, but there's certain tracks I didn't really care for. Like re-listening to the album, like Kim. Y'all know how I feel about that Kim song and shit.
Right.
Yeah, man. I felt like under the influence was alright and shit, but pretty much anything Slim Shady LP all the way to Eminem show. That's the Eminem I vibe with and shit. Oh, I'll even throw in Relapse too. Yeah, I fuck with Relapse. That's Relapse was like the last. Mm, I'm gonna save that till we talk about Recovery. Let me say that first.
Mm,
Slim Shady LP. This was definitely a very, very, very iconic hip hop album. Must have in your collection.
yes. All right, we have to number five now, right?
Yeah, number five.
Number five for me is MF Doom, Operation Doomsday. I almost forgot it was 99, and yeah, this was a great album, one of his best. And him just taking on that moniker, as a MF Doom for Marvel, and the production and the lyrics, the songs on here, the title track, Operation Doomsday, and Rhymes Like Dimes with Bobito, and The Finest was dope, and Dead Bent, Gas Draws. I remember hearing a lot of these joints on like Stretch and Barbito back in the day, man, and it just brings back memories every time I hear it. And the album covers is phenomenal, and definitely a Five Mike classic. Rest in peace to Sub Rock and MF Doom.
Yeah, man. Number four is gonna be Pharaoh Monch, Eternal Affairs. I'm just gonna say this once and for all. 1999 was the best year of Ruckus Records, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
definitely.
And I'm gonna say the other, I'm gonna save the other one for later on this list and shit.
Mm,
But this album, this album represented the whole apocalypse in a lyrical fashion, in my opinion.
right.
Like this was 2 years after Organized Confusion broke up. You know what I'm saying? They still cool and whatnot. They didn't have like a falling out. They just want to do different things. Because Prince Poe actually appeared on this album as well too. So
Right.
um, he definitely got that deal with Ruckus and shit. He had a classic that Simon Says song. But
Da-da-da-da.
that song got him in trouble for the longest because
Right.
that actually got him out of print, the album out of print and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because of that Godzilla sample. So for a while, this was really one of the most sought after hip hop albums of all time
Mm,
and shit. But I actually got it for $15 and shit.
nice.
So yeah. Thank you, Amazon. Back when
Right.
y'all free prime. That's all I gotta say. Free prime. That's what y'all don't know about that shit.
Hmm.
But anyway, yeah, man. I love songs like Queens, which is a very sad track right there. Um, Rape. That's like the more fucked up version of Common's I Used to Love Her and stuff. What was that one joint? That one joint he did with the Light. I love the Light.
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually one of the first songs I've actually heard of and stuff like that too. So yeah, must have in your collection and shit like that. This is a 5 mic masterpiece.
Yes. Definitely. Number four for me is The Roots, Things Fall Apart. Classic album, one of my favorite Roots albums right after Ella Duff Half Life, and love the production on here, with Dilla and Questlove, and You Don't See Us. Love that joint. Adrenaline. Dynamite, one of my favorites on this album. Probably my favorite track is Dynamite. The Next Movement. You Got Me. Definitely a great album all around to me. And then Black Dog was in his bag on this, and Malik B, rest in peace. Dice Raw. We had Lost Reg.
Yo,
Yeah, great album. Dice Raw did his thing, and Malik B, rest in peace. He did his thing on here. Ghostface is on this album. Beanie Siegel, rest in peace. Jay Dilla, man, phenomenal album. This might be my favorite Roots album. Like it's neck and neck with Illa Duff Half Life, but man, this was great, man. This is to me like 5 mic material. You know what I'm saying? Like this easily could have been number one for me. You know what I'm saying? But it's in my top four, but it easily could have been number one. So yeah, Roots, Things Fall Apart.
So you don't think they got less jazzy with that album?
No, I think they were. I don't think they've gotten less jazzy with. No, I can't. I think the latter albums they got less jazzy. I think like when you listen to like Game Theory, it was less jazzy, and How I Shot My Cousin in those albums.
Yeah.
But I think like they was a time like from the beginning with Organics. I would say up until like maybe for Chronology, I think they were still jazzy. But they were trying. You could tell they were going more mainstream. They were trying different things for mainstream like play.
Yeah, that's what I thought, especially when that album first came out and shit.
Yeah.
All right, my number three is the Soundbombing 2 soundtrack. I mean, not
Ooh,
soundtrack, compilation.
yes.
Yes. Again, another underground ruckus masterpiece and shit like that, boy.
Mm.
That ruckus list is coming soon. Wait,
Oh
we
man,
didn't do a top ruckus albums, did we?
I thought we did that. We didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a while back.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This one way better than the first. I felt like the first one was good. Don't get me wrong, but this one has had a heat. I mean, it's just like the compilations that were dropping. Like they had. This is where Eminem really got people's attention with that Any Man joint.
Yeah.
Niggas don't know. Niggas don't know about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas don't
Facts.
know
Facts.
that joint right there. And it was about to beat Minus. Oh,
Uh-huh.
you know he was supposed to have been under the whole boot camp family and shit too.
Right.
What else? Fucking Brooklyn Hard Rock with Thurston Now the Third, Stanley Kubrick with All Right, a Rugged Man, When It Pours and Rains with Diamond D. Oh my god. Like this is a fucking masterpiece
Crazy.
of an album, man. It's a shame I don't got this in my collection at this point, but it's been
The
so.
album. I need
You
that.
said what?
Yes, I need that one too.
Yeah, man. You know what? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go ski shopping this weekend.
All of those Rutgers joints. I don't got the most death or the Pharoah Monch joint.
Yeah, man. I was lucky on that fucking Thermage and shit.
Yeah.
Trust me, man. Trust me. If down the line I see something Ruckus and shit like that, I would definitely send it your way
Well,
and shit.
High and Mighty. Any one of them.
You know, I never listened to a High and Mighty album. I'm gonna be real.
They that album is dope. The was it Home Field Advantage? That joint was dope.
I got it because I only heard them because Master Ace dissed them and acknowledged
Mm,
and shit like that. So
yeah.
and you know me being the whole Master Ace fan and shit, that kind of was unfair. So I might just give them a shot. I'm gonna definitely give them a shot and shit.
They were dope. Yep.
But yeah, that's my number 3.
All right, number 3 for me is Eminem, Slim Shady LP. Love this album. One of my favorites. You know, he was real controversial with this album and just the stuff he was saying lyrically, and it's like it made you want to rewind. You know, a lot of the stuff he was saying back and just to hear it, and the production from Dre, and having getting that cosign from Dre and making it sound dope and quirky at the same time. You know, My Name is like real quirky, but it just sound dope. Role Model, I love that joint. 97 Bonnie and Clyde, really smooth beat. Guilty Conscience was a classic record. Brain Damage, the Bad Material joint, the official start of the whole group with team up with him and Royce. That was an epic joint. Still Don't Give a Fuck, one of my favorites on here as well. Definitely a five mic album. Like I said, Eminem's first 3 major what's that? Oh, the cards?
Yeah.
No. His first 3 major releases to me are classic. Anything after Eminem show is like it's hit or miss for me. So definitely love this album.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Eminem, my number 2 was Dr. Dre's 2001.
Yes.
How can you top the Chronic?
Facts.
How can you top the album that people say changed hip hop, shifted the east to the west? How can you top that after you failed with the compilation and your label, which came out in '96, was looked at kind of like a laughing stock? Well, that's easy. You find a white rapper, get your head in the game, get Jay-Z as a ghostwriter, get Mailman with the beats, get back to your roots, except for the experimental stuff you was doing with that compilation, which was not a bad compilation. That has some of Dre's best beats. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. But you said what? But yeah, man. Oh, never mind. But yeah, 2001, man. This was the album that really stamped Dr. Dre's legacy, in my opinion.
Yes.
I mean, is it as good as the first Chronic? I'll be for the first to say nah, because the first Chronic to me, that shit knocks and shit. This album is near perfect. It's a near perfect album. Shit too, you know what I'm saying? You had joints, of course, like Still Dre, Explosive, which in my opinion, my favorite Nate Dogg appearance and shit like that. I heard somewhere that he has a solo joint with that. Forget About Dre. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I even like the Eddie Griffin Education sketch.
Yeah, that was dope too.
Yeah, man. But why do I say it's near perfect though? You know what I'm saying?
Why you saying?
I don't know. It's just like, to me, the first Chronic to me, I remember I just hearing how sonically it was just so different, and it was just so unique. And this when I listen to this album and shit, it has this uniqueness. It's like this album had a more futuristic West Coast sound with the synths. I feel like the first Chron that was Dre's baby. This one, he definitely wanted to prove a point that he still got it and shit too. Cause I feel like with the first Chronic, well, he can also say he wanted to prove a point too after NWA.
Right.
I might have to just do a video about this because this might be very. This the difference. I don't know, but I'm not trying to knock 2001 because of course it's gonna be my second favorite hip hop albums and shit too. So yeah, man, this is definitely a very influential record in the West Coast.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: do you feel like Presents the Aftermath has some of Dre's best beats on that album?
No.
You lying?
I don't think so.
Shitting on the world, my nigga.
No, I don't like. I mean,
come on, oh my god.
That album to me was like even Dre was like he was in a transition with that album.
Yeah,
like he was still trying to find himself again.
And, it was R&B joints.
I didn't like it.
Come on, East Coast West Coast killers.
That was dope, and I like been there, done that, but that's about it. I have the album, but I just don't play it.
Man, I like the album. It's just the R&B joint. It's the same issue I had with the Marley Marl Volume 2. It's like the R&B joints was kind of the weakest and shit, but the production, some of Dre's best beats in my opinion. I don't give a fuck with nobody.
I gotta hear that again. If you say that.
Cause you know me. I like to listen to everything. Like that's the same way I feel about Insomnia by Eric Sermon. That had some of Eric Sermon's best.
That was good. That was a good.
Some of them songs the rappers were on. I was like,
I like Insomnia more than the Aftermath album.
Same. I'm not gonna hold you on
that. Wow. Yeah, might have to pull that out and play it this week, man. For like
I'm gonna pull it out right now and shit, man. Fuck that.
West Coast Wednesday or some shit.
I'm gonna make a whole Instagram post right now.
Right. I mean, I remember the album. I just didn't care for I didn't care for the songs and a lot of those artists I ain't never even heard of. Aussie, who the hell is Aussie?
Yeah, I haven't heard most of them artists either. Because they were the first signees on Aftermath.
Right. He had Dawn Robinson. Like, why didn't she drop an album on that label? You know.
She got mad at Dre too and shit.
Yeah, she was pissed. She wanted out. You know.
What the fuck is it? What the fuck up? Oh, but I said what I had to say about 2001.
Oh, all right. Number 2 is Mobb Deep, Murder Music, classic album. Their last classic album to me, in my opinion. The production from Havoc, and he bringing in the Alchemist for the first time, and he did The Realist, and that was great. And Thug Music with Infamous Mob and Chinky. It's Mine with Nas. Adrenaline, Illustrious, the Quiet Storm remix with Lil' Kim. She bodied that joint, one of her best features ever. What else? Can't Fuck with Raekwon is on that joint. Just a phenomenal album, man. Everybody killed it. Big Noise is on here, and Omega. Just a great album, man. Phenomenal album. I love the production and the songs and features. Rest in peace to Prodigy, man. And Prodigy he went in on this album, like lyrically went in. Like he bodied that whole Murder Music title track. That like his verse on that was like one of his best to me. I loved it, man. Probably my classic.
Definitely. Yeah, I found this shit.
Yes, I have it. I just haven't played it in years. I'm gonna play it for West Coast Wednesday and see if it holds up. Because from what I remember, I didn't like it.
Like I said, the hip hop joints I like. It's just the R&B joints. Like RBX Blunt Time. I remember that joint and shit.
Yeah.
This is the nice cruising album and shit.
That's a cruising album. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
I don't give a fuck with no one. I fuck with this shit.
They for the CD vinyl challenge this month that's the challenge. Is like pick a album that's like a good like road trip album to play. So I'll tag you in it with the challenge. You can post that up. Put a
Man,
rope.
honestly, I used to be doing them challenges, but I be getting so lazy trying to find which album for which theme.
But it's
I just
fun.
it is fun. It is fun and shit, but I'm just like, damn, man. That's like I gotta
Yeah.
find another album and shit. Oh god.
Yep. So sometimes I just take the pictures in advance, and so I could just post it up instead of like going through the albums and stuff. You know, like I'm like oh yeah, I'm just I just do them ahead of time, and then I just post it instead of like just going through the albums every night.
Understandable.
You know.
Yeah. So number one, Most Def Black on Both Sides is my number one.
Yes.
Yeah. This to me, I remember when I first heard this as a child and shit. I was just like, this shit is just amazing. This was just made. I was getting to hip. I was like, yo, hip hop was just beautiful as fuck, man.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows Miss Fat Booty, everyone knows that track and shit like that. Which also check out part 2 with Ghostface Killer. That shit right there. Oh man, y'all know nothing about that shit. But then you also have songs like my Umi Says and shit like that, which a very dope track. Rock and Roll, where he was talking about how Blacks was the creator of rock and roll and shit. But now they're making a whole Elvis movie and shit, which I was thinking about watching it, honestly, just to see how much flabbergasted his life is and shit. I'm just gonna say it. I was thinking about it, but I'm not gonna pay for it and shit. What else? Do It Now with Busta was dope. Mathematics and shit. Oh my god, one of Primo's illest beats. And this was the era when Primo used to just drop one beat on an album and just be ghosts and shit like that. This was around the time he was just doing that shit. Like, anyway, what else? Yeah, man, this is a very great. Oh, Love with 88 Keys, man. Oh my god. Before he started dropping trash and shit like that, but yeah, man, I mean trash as in that album we talked about, the Adam and Eve album. But yeah, but this one right here, this album, Most Def Black on Both Sides, is a hip hop classic in my opinion.
Definitely. Number one for me is Dre, Chronic 2001. Love this album. Another classic he dropped after the Chronic, and the production was great. The features with Eminem on a lot of these songs and Exhibit, Snoop Dogg, Corrupt, Nate Dogg, rest in peace. He even had a joint with Mary J. Blige, and Lord Finesse produced it too. Message, that was great. Still DRE and Forgot About Dre. What's the other joint I like? Housewife. Some Explosive. Next Episode, phenomenal album, classic. And this is it for me. I think this like Chronic in 2001 was his classics, and I didn't care for Compton too much. The Aftermath album I'm gonna bump on the Wednesday and see about that one. But these two for me was like his greatest work as a solo artist, and I loved it so.
Yeah, man. That's definitely a very good choice for number one. All right, so I have about 3 maybe 4 honorable mentions I can talk about and shit.
Right.
All right, let me pull them out. Harmonizing down shit, clean my throat. All right, my first honorable mention is Funkmaster Flex, The Tunnel.
Oh, The Tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to talk about The Tunnel and shit like that, classic hip hop. That was like what disco was for Studio 54, The Tunnel was for hip hop.
Right.
Just throwing that shit out there and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just fucking crazy club. Even we might do a top tunnel performances one night and shit.
Yes, that would be dope. Definitely.
That would be dope and shit.
I
gotta watch a few more tunnel performances and shit too, but
right.
Yeah, man, you got songs like fucking QBG, Prodigy, and Coogee Rap. I was about to say Kumo D.
Kumo D.
Shit. Fucking For My Thugs with Jay-Z, Memphis Bleak, Beanie Siegel, and The Mill. That was fire. LL Cool J's Ill Bomb. Oh my!
Yes.
Why wasn't that on any of his? Wait.
That was on the GOAT.
on.
It's
Oh
on the
yeah,
GOAT.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's on that
And I
one.
got that album too. I was
Yeah.
Done with Cup on the Noriega, man. Yeah, this is the honorable mention. I might have to re-listen to this album and shit one day, but
Yeah.
you know, fuck Funkmaster Flex though. But hey, you know,
I like how you give him a shout out and then you say fuck him.
hey, fuck it. You know, I gotta do it. Got it.
Wow. Number 5, I got Sound Bombing 2. That was a great album, and I definitely enjoyed that album review we did for that. And I got like 3 Ruckus albums. That's how dope Ruckus was in it '99. 3 Ruckus albums that were solidified classics on here, and you know, you had Sir Menelik on the album, and you know, Most Def with Crosstown Beef, and just a dope. Eminem was on this album, just a dope ass album. Man. Like the compilation was fire. I love the album cover. Definitely a classic album cover. You know, having like Eminem on the album cover with Muhammadiyah and Talib, you know, LP and you know B-Boy Document '99. I remember that joint. Most definitely Skills and you know definitely a Five My classic album.
Yeah, man, definitely. Hey, yo, check the Instagram. BJ sent some shit.
Oh Lord.
I yeah, like I said, that's on y'all and shit. That's on y'all.
I don't understand BJ.
That's on y'all. I'm just
You don't understand that.
my next is gonna be on Slick Rick with the art of storytelling. This might be my third favorite Slick Rick album and shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, this is 5 years after Behind Bars, which possibly my least favorite Slick Rick album. I hate to say it. I know a lot of fans like that one, but I'm gonna save that for one day. And it's actually his highest charted album too.
Right.
That's the crazy thing. So
Right.
niggas love. That's how much Slick Rick was to the game and shit. You got all these motherfuckers doing this fucking song, sticking this style and shit, but he wasn't really doing a lot of storytelling a lot on his record as well too. He had like a lot of braggadocio tracks too. Was it just me or?
I mean, he had some storytelling joints, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, but it wasn't like his usual storytelling joints.
Right.
It was more like the collabs and get the radio play with this one.
Yeah, which I thought it was just me and shit like that too. I mean, it's not a bad album by any means because Slick Rick never dropped a bad record and stuff too. But it was just like because I was just used to like a lot of his albums
Right.
and stuff like that. He just carried the album to himself and shit like that, But at the same time, I kind of see it as more like a love letter to Slick Rick because Snoop Dogg did Lottie Dottie on Doggy Style and shit like that.
Right.
Outkast had him on a Gemini with the Art of Stories, which I love that track.
Yeah, that was dope.
Hell, even Nas fucking gave love to Slick Rick over the years and shit too,
Right.
So yeah, man, I love songs like Street Talking, Adults Only. That was produced by Dave Reese, man. That classic Slick Rick right there. Fucking King Piece of the Chess Game with Cannabis. I'm not the biggest Cannabis fan though, but fucking
right.
And the Source even gave it 2 mics and not 4 mics, excuse me.
4 mics.
Yeah. I was about to say 2 mics and shit. I fuck with this record.
Definitely. What else I got on here? I got Q-Tip Amplified. It's not his best, but God. I like some of the joints on here. Let's Ride. That was my favorite joint. Of course, Vibrant Thing. Breathing Stop. The joint with Busta. The Native Tongue joint. NT. Had some joints on here, but I still love it. But the Renaissance more. I think that was more the Q-Tip album for him. That's more of his personality. This was more mainstream, but it had some joints, so I definitely do like it. Rest in peace to Dilla.
Yeah, you know me, I never fuck with that album.
You didn't like that one?
He can close his shirt for all I care. I don't know who he thought he was. I don't know if he thought he was D'Angelo or what. I don't know.
Oh Lord.
Just I just never like that. I tried so much to get into that album. I really did, but I'm just like, I can't. It's just a bad album.
Which one you hate more, Millennium or Amplified?
Millennium by who?
Millennium by Will Smith.
Oh, I
You
hate
know that?
Amplified more. Millennium has some
yeah.
joints though.
Yeah. I didn't think that was a classic album too. It had some joints though.
It's not a classic album, but
Yeah.
Will knew what he was doing. I don't think
Right.
Q-Tip knew what he was doing. You know me, I love Q-Tip. I love fucking Q-Tip, but I gotta speak my truth. And if I can't speak my truth, I don't feel genuine or authentic. So, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Cash Money with Juvenile G Code. Now I've heard a lot of diehard Juvie fans say that this is his best record and shit.
Right.
Which I fuck with it, but I'm more of a 400 Degrees motherfucker.
Right.
But honestly, this album might be my second favorite album from him because it was more street. It had like a more gangster feel to it. You know what I'm saying? I felt like 400 Degrees was good, but you can tell the radio airplay was back that ass up,
and
shit like that. All that, especially with High. Once that remix with Jay-Z happened and shit, it was a rap.
Right.
Weezy was in like 3 songs on this record and shit, boy.
Yep.
Weezy wasn't. Yeah, man. I love Never Had Shit. That was dope as fuck. Fucking You Understand. Fuck that nigga with VG. Oh my god.
Crazy.
Like this whole fucking album was just so hard as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it's like motherfuckers always want to talk about 400 Degrees. And again, I love 400 Degrees and shit, but Juvie had at least maybe 3 classics under his belt. I'm just gonna be real.
Right. No doubt. What's mine? Let me see. Number 3 for me is Black Moon, Warzone. Definitely love this album. Highly slept on, in my opinion. And the joints on here, the production from the beat miners was great, and you had Rock Wally co-produced on this album, and you had joints like Whirlwind, that was a fire joint, and the title track Warzone, the Onslaught with Busta Rhymes. What's the other joint I like? 2 Turntables on the Mic, that was the first single. That was a great joint. Annihilation with MOP, definitely a solid sophomore album from Black Moon. I don't hear people talk about it that much. Enter the Stage was great. It's like they just totally forgot about Black Moon after the first album, but the second one was dope. I definitely need to get this joint too. Yeah, man, a lot of collabs. How the B's on this joint, Q-Tip is on this joint, Cocoa Brothers, when Smith and Wesson, when they were the Cocoa Brothers, Louisville Slugger, Buster, like I mentioned, MOP. Yeah, they're definitely a solid album.
Yeah, man, definitely a solid.
Yeah.
All right. My last one, I'm gonna go with that Ghost Dog soundtrack. That's my last one.
Nice.
Again,
that was dope.
Y'all talking about something right because y'all talking about RZA right now and shit. This might be some of RZA's best shit.
Oh wow.
And mind you, this was second wave of new Wu-Tang and shit, like second wave and shit. You know what I'm saying? But
right,
the song with Cakes, with Coogee Rap, my nigga.
Yes.
Come the fuck on. I don't hear I want to hear niggas freestyle over that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to hear motherfuckers freestyle over that, but not these whack motherfuckers and shit, not these mumble rappers,
These mumble rappers.
Yeah. Fucking what's that joint? East Shadow with Wu-Tang was dope. Walk the Dog with Royal Fame and LA the Dark Man. I mean, I love this fucking joint, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy too because a lot of motherfuckers say this might be some of RZA's best shit too, because it definitely had that similar. It's like Ghost Dog Wave. I never seen the movie.
Right. The movie I saw like a long time ago on cable. It was cool. It's been a minute since I saw it though.
Yeah, that was that time when black niggas was just doing kung fu movies just for the fucking for this shit.
Right? Let's make a kung fu film in the hood.
Always in the hood and shit. Yeah,
You
man.
know? Oh Lord. All right, I got two more. I got Missy, The Real World. This was gonna make my list, and then I totally forgot that MF Doom came out with Doomsday, so I put Missy on the honorable mention. One of my favorite Missy albums, The Real World, her sophomore album, classic album, great production from Timbaland. You got joints like All of My Grills and She's a Bitch and Sticking Chickens and Dangerous Mouse with Redman. Eminem is on this album. You had BG and Juvie on this album. The Brat, Little Kim, Beyonce, so many collabs. Great, like I said, great features and production by Timbaland. To me, is a 5 mic classic. And I got the number. I got this album. I know a lot of people don't care for this album, but I love it. I thought it was a dope album. Raekwon and Mobility. I think it's a solid album without no RZA production. He had a couple of Wu-Tang members on there, Method Man and Master Killers on this album. And Live from York was a banger, and 100 Rounds and Power, Yayo. Just a phenomenal. American Cream Team, his crew is all over this project. Rest in peace to Lord Superb and Killer Sin, Free Killer Sin, and definitely I definitely love this album, and it gets a lot of hate. And I did an album review for this like maybe 2 years ago. Check it out on my channel. It was dope. And people checked it out, and that was dope. I never see nobody talked about this album, so I'm like, I had to do an album review for this, and I definitely think it's one of my favorite Raekwon albums. You know what I'm saying? Like Lex Diamonds, I didn't care for. The Wild, I didn't care for those albums, but I think like after Cuban Link, Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, that was a great album. Cuban Link 2 was great. And I like Immobility. I know Raekwon don't like Immobility himself, but I like Immobility, and I'm telling Raekwon this is like after Cuban Link, this was like one of my favorites from him. So shout out to Raekwon.
Yeah, I did a review on that album a while back ago
Oh, you did?
myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, you didn't like it.
It grew on me a little bit, but it's not among my favorite Raekwon albums. To me, I kind of prefer part 2 of Cuban Links and Shaolin versus Wu-Tang over that one. Being real with you.
Yeah, those were great. Those were great albums.
Yeah, but it's better than Lex Diamond.
Oh God, definitely. I think anything is better than that. Oh Lord, that was
okay. So what I have in my hand
Mhm.
is something that you probably never seen. Well, I know you probably seen, but it's a 1991 Rat Pack.
Oh shit.
Yeah, collector's item and shit.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm doing a quick show and tell before I make me some dinner and shit. It's the Jive Records card right here.
Nice. The label.
Yep, the label. I think they up to this point, DJ Jazzy Jeff the Fresh Prince, He's a DJ, I'm the Rapper was the biggest album that came out, which I'm not surprised about because
Classic album.
yeah, probably my favorite album next to Code Red. Your favorite album too. Ruthless Records.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Legendary label.
For real. Okay, they got me some label cards too. I like this. Okay. Somebody would hit me. I still was up in my phone to charge. This is Above the Law.
Oh, okay. West Coast group, G-Funk.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Yeah, the Pimps. I always thought Above the Law was NWA in a pimped out form and shit.
Right.
Like they were just a continuation. Shit.
So who's Eazy-E in that group?
That's a good question. Maybe Code 187 because he definitely had that voice and shit.
Okay.
But more lyrical and shit.
Right.
And that's not a shot against Easy either. Shit either. This is Yo-Yo.
Underrated. Dope.
Yeah, some of these are cartoons and shit.
Okay. That's a cartoon yo-yo.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's something you never see.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
If I see a Vanilla Ice card and shit, I don't know how I feel. Moni Love, a cartoon Moni Love.
Oh, nice. That's dope. She got like little high top trimmers.
Right. Atlantic Street Records.
Wow.
This was home to DOC, MC Light, Yomo and Malky, which they ended up being on Ruthless Records, if I'm not mistaken. Alright. I gotta hurry up and save my minutes for this one. Step Up Front. You ever heard of them?
Where you from? Never heard of them.
I never heard of them either.
That's real underground.
Right. East West Records.
Yes. That's effects. We on that label.
En Vogue. Marky Mark.
Oh wow.
You said what?
Was he? He was on that label?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna hold you. Wild Style was my shit. I'm not gonna hold
Yes,
you.
I like the first album. The first album I had, I didn't. The
Yeah.
second one I never listened to.
That first album had some heat.
Yeah, that was dope.
I don't give a fuck. Good Vibrations. I mean,
Yeah.
I can bump to that shit when I'm working out when I'm to this day.
That was dope.
I'll take Kim over Vanilla Ice any day. I don't give a flying fuck. Shit, Marky Mark actually had some bars and shit.
That was
Yeah,
a
yes.
dope album. I Need Money.
Yeah.
That was my joint. I Need Money. I like that one.
Oh, man, this is just hip hop slang and shit like that.
Oh,
so that
okay.
Step Up Front was just so this has hanging out and shit.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So they got slang cards.
Wow. So white people can learn how to say it too. Got graffiti.
Nice.
I'm gonna need some rappers.
Right. Some gems.
Oh shit, Steady B.
Nice. Classic. Legend right there. Steady B.
Before Meat Mill, Steady B was repping Philly and shit.
Right. Facts.
Keep your
He
head up,
he got in trouble with the law, right? Yeah.
Yeah, him and Cool C Rob Banks and shit. That's crazy. That's some dead president shit right there. So,
Right.
pretty bad dudes. Some more sling. I don't know.
Oh. Okay. I'm about to say I thought I was a group.
Okay, UTFO.
Yes. Roxanne.
I got 2 yo-yo cars. Now this
Wow.
this is the multiple cars I want to see.
Okay.
Hey, how much you think I can get by those Vanilla Ice cars and shit?
I mean, if you package it together, you could maybe $80. Somebody will buy it because people love cars like that because they don't make cars like that.
Yeah. I might just keep one Vanilla Ice card because I don't need all them Vanilla Ice because that nigga was just like, okay. Yo more monkey and shit.
I don't know who's that.
Like I said, they were affiliated with like NWA and shit.
Oh, okay. So they're like some side artists.
Yeah, they were on Ruthless Records at one point. Roxanne Shante.
So good.
Roxanne Shante.
Nice. Another one.
Special Ed. Sweet Tea.
Sweet Tea. That's the one that nobody talks about. You don't mention her.
Shit. I didn't even heard of her.
Yeah, she came out back in the day.
UTFO.
Another one.
Twin Hype.
I remember them. That didn't have that song. Wiggle it, just a little bit. I think that was them.
I never heard of them, but okay, I'll take it.
I forgot their hit song. I might be saying the wrong song.
Too Black, Too Strong.
I don't know them. They got some obscure artists in this joint.
Right. Another Too Black, Too Strong.
Never heard of them.
How you gonna have a Google Too Black, Too Strong, but you're gonna have the American flag there? Okay.
Right?
Too Short.
Okay, I know him.
Who's he? Let me stop. Terry B.
Oh wow. We talked about her album.
Yeah, that trash album.
They have a lot of like Ruthless Records artists on this.
Right. I just want to see the Geraldo card and shit, man.
Geraldo?
Geraldo, whatever. Redhead Kingpin. I remember him.
Yes, I remember him. Never heard his albums though.
Me neither. Redhead Kingpin.
Yes. And he had a crew called the FBI or some shit.
Yep. What's up with these rappers naming each other after police? Poor Righteous Teachers.
Yes.
Rock this funky joint.
Right.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
The Poison Clan. Luke's group.
I remember them too. I remember them.
JT Money.
Right.
More Poison Clan.
Oh.
Cool G Rap.
Okay. Go.
And DJ Polo.
Nice.
Kwame.
Polka Dot. Okay.
Played out like Kwame and the Polka Dot. Main Source.
Yes. With Large Pro?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is 1991. Yep.
Yeah.
Another Main Source.
Nice.
Marty Mall.
Yes, we just talking about him.
Yep. MC Peaches.
Who the hell is that?
She's from Jersey.
I don't know.
She's affiliated with MC Light.
Really? She was on her albums or shit?
No, they were on the same label.
Oh, I never heard of MC Peaches.
Mellow Man Ace.
Yes.
Like the first Latino rapper and shit. I just talked about him on the Cypress Hill video.
Right.
Michelet.
Yes. Mousy. Two Michelet.
The Next School.
I don't know them. They look like Kid and Play.
Kid and Play ripoff, yeah.
Never heard
Moni
of them.
Love.
Yes, Moni in the middle.
The Kings of Swing.
I don't know them album.
I don't know them either.
What the hell is that?
King T.
I know him.
Kid Frost.
Yes, a legend. Latin legend.
Tragedy, the Intelligent Hoodlum.
You don't even look like that no more.
Is that what?
No, you don't look like that no more.
Hell no.
He was looking like Dwayne Wayne on that card.
Harmony from BDP.
I remember her, yeah. Her album was dope. I listened to her album like a couple weeks ago.
What's it called?
Shit, I gotta look it up on my YouTube playlist. Because it's like, I think it's like about maybe 7-8 tracks on there.
Cool. There's more Harmony.
Yeah. She was dope.
Granddaddy IU.
Legend. He did a new joint with Paula Perry.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, they got a new joint out. Yeah.
Gangstar.
Classic.
Father MC.
Okay. Father.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna sell that.
Why you selling that one?
I never cared for
Wow.
Dr. Ice.
Oh yeah, UTFO. I think he passed away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it was a Kango nigga.
Oh, Kango. Okay.
I
Kango.
think. I gotta double check. More Dr. Ice.
I think both of them passed away, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow. DJ Red Alert.
Yeah, so legend. Still alive and kicking.
Can't talk to me about hip hop without talk to me about hip. DJ Quick.
Yes, the legend. My cousin just met him. I just saw a picture of my cousin and him.
Lucky.
Like, what the hell? Where the hell you been, man?
Dana Dane.
Dang, yes. Underrated.
The Doc. DLC.
Yes. He just did a Drink Champs, right?
Yeah, they have a documentary of DLC coming out too.
Oh wow. I think that's what it was. I saw like because Eminem is in it. It's called Let There Be Harmony. It's 7 tracks.
Got you. D Nice.
Yes. Still doing it now.
Candyman.
Knocking Boots. I remember that
Yep.
cat. I remember that.
Never liked that song.
One in Wonder, yeah. Never give him.
He ruined that Rolls Royce song. Fuck that.
Right?
The Boys.
I got the album. Boys, they grown now. They still producing this shit. But it wasn't hip hop though. Why they put them in a hip hop thing?
Yeah, but you know, New Jack Swing, you know, it had a hip hop audience and shit too.
Right.
So Booyah Tribe.
I remember them too. You gonna try.
And I got NWA,
Legends, definitely.
Post Ice Cube.
Wow.
Betty Boo.
Who the hell is that? Betty Boo? I don't know her.
She's a London rapper.
Betty Boo?
Yeah.
Never heard of her. Never heard of her.
Audio 2.
Yes, look deep.
Got 2 Above the Law cards.
Wow. That's dope.
Kid Rock.
Yes, Kid Rock. Wow. I didn't expect to see him in a hip hop card collection.
Yeah, 'cause, you know, he was hip hop originally.
Right. So what made him change and start singing about cowboys and shit?
I have no idea. Ice-T.
Nice.
And Jizza, aka the Genius.
Yes. Jizza. Got some joints right there, yo.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna call the night right here 'cause I gotta save my minutes and shit.
All right.
But yeah, this was kind of fun and shit. I might just drop this tonight sometime and shit.
No doubt.
I think about doing top 20 1998 maybe next week sometime. Yeah, man. Wednesday, Brothers Johnson. We're gonna talk about the first album and shit. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned for some more good shit. You know. Appreciate this, bro, as usual. I'll see you later. Peace.
All right.